welcome back. Hey, Tim here, Gamma VD, another exciting installment of this fantastic video series. I'm out today, new product for us. Just got in these Go Treads. So an alternative to your traction ramps. This is more of a collapsible traction board. Thought I'd come out, exact same spot. We were here before a couple months ago, checking out the Maxtrax versus Maxtrax. So today I did bring out a couple Maxtrax. I want to show you some comparisons here, see if this is a product that you should consider. So it should be fun, stay tuned. So like all the products, they come in multiple colors. Of course, orange and black tend to be the most popular. And they have two different lengths. They have what they call their standard length, which is basically 3 big sections of this. And then they have their XL, which adds another section. The standard, they say, is for 33s and under, and that's about the same length as a Maxtrax here. If I can lay one on top. There you go. So there's your comparison, and then the other one is going to add another section here, this guy, so it would be about, you know, that long as a comparison. So there you go. But 33s kind of go either way. Of course, brought the 40 on 31s today, so my choice was easy. And then width-wise, you'll see these Go Treads are a bit narrower than Maxtrax, Action Trax, which are about the same. So not sure if that's going to be a factor or not, but just something to point out. The other thing that's kind of clever, though, is these are collapsible. So, you know, when this is folded up, it's a nice little thing. And there's an optional bag. So the orange bag for the standard length, and there's a black bag for the XL. So that's kind of cool. It gives you something you can stick in your drawer system or just tuck it into your vehicle somewhere. Neat little advantage there. Other thing that's obvious to point out is there are all great props for when you want to put a low tire up and level out your vehicle. People who sleep inside the rig or rooftop tent folks. So this is actually a little bit quicker to deploy that way. So if that's your aim here, this is definitely something to consider, where you don't need a bunch of these to get up to that same height, or you don't need to go find a rock. So, and anyway, so let's get into a little bit of a test. If you haven't noticed by now, we got a little bit of wind here, so if wind noise becomes a factor, you may have to put the headphones in. We'll work through that. Fans of the video know I am no stranger to audio issues, so anyway, something we're used to. Anyway, let's get into it. I'm gonna go set something up here. Okay, so first test, same spot, low range, 2-wheel drive. That right rear is going to spin when we hit the ditch, right? You remember that from the last video. Headphone mode engaged. The wind is picking up. It's actually starting to rain a little bit. Feels kind of good. Anyway, so let's see what happens. I'm going to just roll through this just to give you that little baseline of no traction board whatsoever. So stay tuned. So we're just at idle, right? Because application of skinny pedal, probably a whole nother video. But in any case, didn't work, spun the tire. So now I got a Maxtrax laid out in that hole, and just to kind of get us back to where we were, see what happens on this round here. So stay tuned. It's going to be really exciting. So you saw that coming, right? Maxtrax shoots out, tire spins, back to kind of how it was with nothing. So threw down the Go Tread. Oop, make a little adjustment there. There we go. So we got the Go Tread in the same spot. Let's do the same thing. See if the same thing happens or something different. So about the same result. Traction board shoots out, wheel spins, nothing happens. It occurred to me though that I might be doing this wrong. When I look at their instructions, it's like step 1, get stuck, put the board under the tire, and then step 2, kind of drive out. Those are on the website. So I drove to where I'm spinning, and then I shoved that board right under that tire, I'm gonna see if I can just really gently bump it and get up out of this, following a little bit closer their instructions on how to do this. I'll do that with the Go Tread first, and then we'll try the same thing with the Maxtrax, see what happens. Well, that didn't work at all. In fact, that was kind of worse. That first round, I actually smelled a little bit of burning rubber. Sorry, 40. I just shot those boards out and we're still stuck. I don't know that either one of these things was the right tool for the job. So, again, not to repeat myself from the last video, this is not the surface really intended for these boards to begin with. A better line would have been the ticket. A little more gas just to begin with, a little more momentum was probably the right move here also. But again, we're trying to put ourselves in this position to where we can see if we can see a comparison. I don't know that I've really seen one yet that compels me to go one way or the other. I kind of lean a little bit towards the Maxtrax at this point for this situation, just because it's a little bit better of a ramp, presuming that a ramp would have helped me here. But again, I couldn't find a scenario where I could really see a big difference one or the other. So let me see if I can set up something else, see if we can see something else here. So I might have to admit defeat here. I tried to come up with a couple more scenarios where I was getting crossed up, getting the front tire up in front of a wall. I couldn't find a situation where the back tire wasn't just shooting the board out from underneath it. Again, probably not the best surface to really compare these things. Again, I think all these products are better off in the mud, snow, and sand, and not on these hard surfaces here. One thing I will point out is on this Go Tread, I really chewed this surface up. So, nice cut here. The tire side is good, but where it kind of got hit by the rocks did get a little bit chewed up. Not terrible, and I'm sure this is going to last just fine. But this guy was brand new, 30 minutes ago. So now it's not. By comparison, I've had this Maxtrax for years. I've even loaned it to people. We've thrown this around, and these little nubs on the bottom, these little star things, they get worn off on day one. But after that, this thing seems to be a little bit harder material than the other one. So I think that was intended by both manufacturers there, but just an observation there. So hopefully this has been helpful to you, even though we couldn't really find a definitive, this one's better than the other. They're both today about the same. All right, so I found a mud puddle, and against my better judgment, decided to go ahead and get these things all muddy and do a little comparison here, but actually kind of interesting. Let me show you the biggest observation so far. Now, this isn't enough mud to get stuck in. We're just in the back of a parking lot here. But one thing I noticed is that guy got pushed down pretty deep into the mud. And also, every one of those joints, the mud comes bubbling through. So not only is this thing super nasty right now, but I'm guessing it's not quite as buoyant as the Maxtrax is. Let's find out. So I'm just going to move the 40 over, and I'm going to back up right over that Maxtrax, and we'll watch what that does when I do that. Wow, this thing is nasty. So I scraped it with my fingers on both sides, try to get most of the mud off. Both sides of this thing are just caked, heavy, yucky, but that's what we came to do, right? So next trial, we'll just set this thing right next to the Maxtrax here. Now I'm gonna reposition the 40. We'll back up and over that thing and see if we notice a difference. so hard rock test up the road, kind of not so definitive. Mud test, I think we got a winner here. The goat treads was kind of terrible. It shot right out of the tire. It kind of slipped because it's a little bit narrower. It doesn't have that edge like the Maxtrax has. You could see I was pushing it forward, pushing it back. My other tire started spinning. The whole 40 moved over a little bit, and then I repositioned on the Maxtrax and kind of drove out. So I got to give the score to the Maxtrax in this test. Hopefully you agree. Let me know your comments there, but I'm glad I stopped by this puddle. Now I got a little bit of a project to do cleaning this stuff up, but hey, it's the things I do for you. So now, okay, we're really gonna call it. Thanks for sticking it out on this one. That was fun. Man, I got a project here cleaning out some mud. That's okay. I'd say for mud, I gotta lean towards, one of the real traction boards and not the collapsible Go Tread. Just didn't seem like the right tool for that job. But if you need to prop up your rig in a state park to get your tent level, it's probably a cool choice for you. A little bit easier on the portability side. Haven't yet found an advantage recovery-wise though on that one, to be honest. So anyway, thank you again for sticking with me, and tell me what else you want to see. And I know I said it before, I'll say it again. I'll see you in the next one.